What's up, guys? It's Pino here from Get Wisdom. How did my wife and I go from living in Section 8 housing below the poverty line here in America to now we've generated tens and tens of millions of dollars in online sales? How did we do it? Because we begin to apply Solomon's success secrets. Yes, King Solomon, the wisest, richest man who ever lived, besides Jesus, of course. And guys, in today's training, I'm going to be breaking down just a few of these success secrets that if you begin to apply these success secrets to your life, then the same thing that happened for Solomon, the same thing that is now happening for me and my wife and my students can also happen for you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel right now if you want to continue to see more content like this for me. Let's talk about Solomon's success secrets. Well, guys, before we jump into today's training, make sure to click that link down below and check out my upcoming 5-day live virtual training called Create and Sell Digital Products Challenge, where hopefully you and me are going to be spending 5 days together, and I'm going to be sharing with you step by step exactly everything you need to know on how to create and sell your own digital products. What are digital products? Digital products are educational resources like courses, mentorships, ebooks, where you can literally take your knowledge, experience, expertise that you already have, turn it into one of these educational resources, then you put it out there and it sells over and over and over again. And maybe you're like, well, I don't know who I would serve and I don't even understand what digital products are. That's exactly why you need to join me for the upcoming training. So click that link down below and check it out. So guys, let's talk about King Solomon. You know, I wrote down something for you here, and I'd like to say it like this. It's amazing what God can do in a person's life when you stop being religious about money and you start thinking about money and finances the way that God showed Solomon how to think about money and finances. Like I said a little bit earlier, when my wife and I first started, we were really struggling living in Section 8. If you don't know what a Section 8 is, it's literally government housing here in America. It's like it's the projects basically, right? And it's the best we could do when we first got married, and then now here we are, and we've done so well. And the only thing that separated us from struggling and being in scarcity and in lack to now being in abundance and prosperity and opulence, like basically anything our heart desires, we can give the way we want to give. We can do whatever we want to do. We can go wherever we want to go, whenever we want to go there. What separated those two seasons? It was Solomon's success secrets, guys. And in this training today, I'm going to be giving you 3 different keys, okay, on how you can begin to take these same principles. Now, just for clarity, these are not the only principles of Solomon. These are just 3 really powerful ones, but just these 3 alone are really going to be game changer for you. And here's a punchline, okay? If Solomon could do it, if I could do it, if my students could do it, then you can do this too. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments right now. Just start the whole entire training off by saying, I can do this. Like, decide right now, make it up in your mind and in your heart right now that I can figure this out. I can do this. That's step number 1 right there, man. Just believing that it is possible for you. Okay. So a couple of notes here for you, and then we're going to get into those 3 steps. Okay. One thing that I learned from the life of Solomon is that when you yield your life to God, okay, he makes you a king or a queen if you're a woman, obviously. When you yield your life to God, God will make you a king or a queen over a specific assignment, okay? And you should seek to please him and serve the people that he has called you to serve. So guys, let's talk about King Solomon's business model. And by the way, I should say this is one of King Solomon's business models. King Solomon's business model. Again, this is just one of them. There was many of them. If I had time, maybe I should do a whole entire series on a bunch of King Solomon's business models. Let me know down in the comments if I should do that. If you're in, say I'm in, down in the comments if you want to see more trainings like this, okay?
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the training. I wanted to take a few moments real quick to invite you to join me for my upcoming Create and Sell Digital Products 5-day challenge, okay? This is a 5-day live virtual event where I invite entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs just like you to come spend 5 days with me and get live training on the 5 moves that anyone can take in order to scale and skyrocket their business and their revenue. Now, the best way to join is as a VIP because VIPs get to spend an extra hour with me every single day and ask your questions live. My most successful students have all been VIPs. That's the best way to join. Listen, you don't want to miss the upcoming Create and Sell Digital Products 5-day challenge. It's completely live. It's coming up right around the corner. Click the link down below in the description. Grab your ticket today. Now back to the training.
All right, so guys, let's jump into 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 10. Just for some context, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to read the whole entire story, but I am going to read one specific part here. But here's the thing, okay? The Queen of Sheba, like we just said, she comes to see Solomon on behalf of the name of the Lord. She's seeking wisdom for her and her kingdom, okay? And then Solomon delivers all this amazing wisdom to her. In fact, the Bible literally says when she saw the wisdom of Solomon, of his servants, even down to his cupbearers, she was so blown away with how much excellence and how much wisdom Solomon had from the Lord, it literally took her breath away. And some people think that she even fainted, like, this is too much wisdom, oh my gosh, and then like faints, right? But it was a lot of wisdom. But here's the crazy part, okay? After she goes to Solomon and Solomon serves her with all of this wisdom and insight, something powerful happens, and it's in 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 10, and it says this, okay? Then the Queen of Sheba gave King Solomon 120 talents of gold, okay, and a very great quantity of spices and of precious stones. Never again came such an abundance of spices that the Queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. Okay, now pause right there. Okay, reading, just like skimming through as you're reading, you're just like, okay, cool, she paid him 120 talents of gold. Hold on, wait a second. She paid him gold, she paid him precious stones, she paid him in spices, so much crazy spices that like they had never seen anything like that before and ever since. She paid him so much, but so not including like the stones or the other stuff or the spices, let's just talk about gold. Okay, so the Bible literally says that she paid him 120 talents of gold. Okay, here's the crazy part. 120 talents of gold. This is absolutely insane. Just for the sake of time, again, I'm not going to like break down all the math, but I'm telling you this, okay? Go look it up. But 120 talents of gold. Take a wild guess on how much this gold would be worth in today's money. Like, wild guess. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments, right? Did she pay him $1 million? Did she pay him $1,000? Did she pay him $500,000? Like, what do you think she paid him? Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, okay? 120 talents of gold would be equivalent to over $200 million in today's money. Like, what in the world? And again, this is not including the precious stones and all the crazy spices, so much that like they had never seen anything like that in their lives. Okay, so here's the crazy part. King Solomon wasn't doing all this for free. Okay, I know a lot of church people like, oh, freely you've received, freely give, brother. That's talking about spiritual things. Okay, go back and read Matthew chapter 8. Okay, it's talking about spiritual things, right? Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the leper. Those are spiritual things. This is not talking about business. Okay, when it comes to business, you should be doing business to serve people that God has called you to be that king or queen over that assignment. Serve them, and then in return, you should charge them. This is how business works. And here's the crazy part, okay? I believe, it's my conviction, that King Solomon's rate for consulting was probably around $200 million. Well, Rick, why would you think that? Because in 1 Kings chapter 9, verse 14, The Bible also says that King Hiram also paid King Solomon 120 talents of gold. Okay, so you have a couple of examples where, a king and a queen pay King Solomon $200 million worth of gold, not including silver or stones or spices or anything else. Okay, so King Solomon, this is the first principle I want to show you here out of King Solomon's business model. Okay, number one, King Solomon was he was a consultant to his contemporaries. In fact, I would like to say it like this. He was the king of consulting. Okay, so here's the punchline. Secret number one of King Solomon's success secrets, one of his business models is number one is this: teach the people who are behind you and charge them. Oh man, well Rick, I'm not really, a sales guy, a sales gal. Sales is weird, sales is slimy. Get over your religious limiting beliefs around money, okay? The only reason why anyone anywhere has any kind of money is because somebody somewhere sold something for a profit. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments right now, drop these words. Selling is good because selling is serving, okay? There are tons of people right now who wished they could have the knowledge, the experience, the expertise that you already have. You've already been through some battles. You've already gone through some stuff, and it didn't kill you because you're here watching this video right now, right? It didn't kill you. It just made you stronger. And think about this. Like, one of the best ways to begin to serve people and then to make money is to serve the people who are behind you and then charge them for your wisdom. Become a consultant to your contemporaries. Right? Like, I'm telling you this, like, I call them premium value offers, okay? I have a number of premium value offers, and, the cheapest premium value offer I have right now is $24,000, and I have offers that are $100,000, and I have offers in between all of these, and I have a ton of clients in the 100K program, and I have a ton of clients in the 24K program, in my 50K program, and blah, blah, blah. But the point is this, like, you think that you have a I don't want to charge people too much kind of problem. Solomon's charging people $200 million out here, man. Like, I'm telling you this, like, what is wisdom worth? Proverbs 23:23 says to buy wisdom, buy knowledge, buy instruction, buy understanding, right? Like, it is good for us to make our wisdom, our instruction, our understanding available for purchase. It's one of Solomon's success secrets. It's one of the business principles that Solomon used to build his kingdom. Okay, again, not for his own fame, not for his own greed, but like Queen of Sheba said, she heard about his fame and his wisdom on behalf of the name of the Lord, right? Like, you should be so good at what you do that people begin to seek you out. Who is this gal? Who is this guy? I need to learn from them. Like, can I connect with you? Absolutely. You can connect with me here, maybe on social media, but then if you want to go to a whole different level, then you can pay me. Like, I have programs for you. I have opportunities for you. I will consult you and I will serve you because I've been where you've been. And when I serve you, then you can pay me. It's godly, it's biblical. It's one of the ways that Solomon built his business. And it should be one of the ways that you build yours as well. Okay, so number one, you've got to become a consultant to your contemporaries. Okay, so let's talk about the second secret of King Solomon's business model, this specific one, okay? So now we just figured out 1 Kings 10:10 that King Solomon was a consultant to his contemporaries. He had a fee probably around $200 million. Okay, but number two, what's the second secret in this model here? Well, it starts in 1 Kings chapter 10, starting at verse 23 and 24. I'm going to read it here. Check this out, okay? Now, King Solomon was greater in riches and in wisdom than all the kings of the earth. Verse 24, watch this. The whole world sought audience with Solomon to hear the wisdom that God had put in his heart. What? Pause right there, man. Okay, so the whole world was seeking Solomon's wisdom, okay? So it wasn't just kings and queens coming, everybody was coming, okay? Everyone was coming like, we need to consult with Solomon, we need to hear from him. But here's the crazy part, okay? It wasn't 2024 when Solomon was around, right? Where you could just make a YouTube video and thousands of you watch this training. Okay, it wasn't 2024 where you make one Instagram post or one TikTok and it potentially goes viral and, millions of people see it, or even, your 300 friends see it, right? It wasn't that. So how in the world did Solomon, how was he able to consult and to help the whole entire world with his wisdom? I believe, number two, Solomon was a communicator to crowds. Okay? And I would also like to say, maybe we can call him the king of communication. Okay, so not only was he the king of consulting, King Solomon was a communicator to crowds, the king of communication. Have you ever been over to, say, Europe? Maybe you're in Europe. Maybe some of these, I remember going to Greece and into Italy, seeing the Colosseum there in Rome. It's really interesting. The way that the ancient world would set this up is you could literally build Colosseums. They had no electricity, right? So how in the world did they communicate to people? Well, they would get everybody together and somebody would talk, okay? And there would be a bunch of crowd around there. They were basically having gigantic events and conferences. Could it be, and here's why I believe that Solomon learned how to communicate en masse and not just only one-to-one. Because think about this, okay? I have thousands of students in my different training programs and my different business consulting programs, and there's no way that I could literally mentor one-on-one every single one of them. There's not enough time in the day. Do I give all of them 3 seconds each? And then even that alone would take me months and months just to talk to all of them. There's no physical way I could personally one-on-one consult and mentor my students one-on-one. So what do? I communicate to crowds through what is available to me today in communication. For me, that is the internet, that's video, right? For Solomon, I believe if the whole world was coming to him, there's no way he could sit down and consult every single individual person in the world. It's just not physically possible. There's no way, right? So it is my conviction, I believe Solomon probably had seminars, he probably had events, he probably had trainings, right? Where maybe, once a month people would come and maybe listen to the guy or listen to his people, listen to his team, and then maybe he'd come and take one of the sessions too. I don't know how he did it, but I know if the Bible says the whole entire world was coming to seek his wisdom, there would be no physical way possible that he could consult one-on-one with each individual. So I'm assuming because he was pretty wise, he probably figured out, guys, let's put on gigantic events where people come and they get communicated to en masse. Okay, so here's the punchline. If King Solomon communicated to crowds, if Jesus communicated to crowds en masse, if I am communicating to crowds en masse, then guess what you need to do? If you want to be successful in your business and follow after King Solomon's business model, then you need to learn how to be a communicator to crowds. Oh man, I don't want to post anything on Instagram. I don't want to post a YouTube video. That's too much work. Could you imagine, think about this, okay? Could you imagine if your grandparents, my grandparents, if you were to ask them like, hey, what's the most amount of people you've ever spoken with in one time? Maybe it was 50 people, 100. Maybe if they had like some kind of something going on, maybe it's like 100 or 500, maybe 1,000. Like, it's so rare for past generations to be able, like normal everyday people, not Solomon, but like normal everyday people, our grandparents' generation, it's so rare for them to have the ability or even having the opportunity to speak to more than a few people at a time without leveraging some kind of system or event or blah, blah, blah. Like, could you imagine if you were like, hey, like, those of you who are like, I don't want to post on social media, blah, blah, blah. What are people going to think? Could you imagine if you're like the Apostle Paul and you're like, yo, Apostle Paul, it's 2024 now. All you got to do to talk to these 347 friends of mine on Facebook is just talk to this little machine right here and make a message, and this, device will put it out there and you can talk to a bunch of people at once. Could you imagine what people would do with that? Like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, when you begin to leverage what is available to you in your generation as far as communicating to crowds through the opportunity that's available to you, which I believe is the internet today, guys, your business can explode to the next level. Like, it is crazy to me to think that there are people out there like, so many people are consumers and they're not providers. They're not suppliers. They're not ones who are adding to value. They're consuming. And that's crazy to me. Like, instead of you just being a consumer only, why don't you begin to add value to your people? You want to make money? You want to grow your business? You want to make millions of dollars? Learn how to be a communicator to crowds, because when you do this, you're tapping into the wisdom of King Solomon, and you can literally take your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, and begin to help people, like I just said in the first one, right? Serve the people who are behind you. One of the ways you can do this is by communicating to them en masse. Use the internet, man. Learn how to use the internet. Follow my stuff here. I'm giving you all kinds of tips all the time on different ways you can do it, but you have got to learn how to be a communicator to crowds, okay? And here's another thing I wrote down for you. You have to start learning how to communicate to crowds en masse, and watch this, and charge them. Do you think Solomon just let all these people come to events for free? We just saw he's charging people $200 million for an audience with him, kings and queens. It's a $200 million fee. I promise you, Solomon was a businessman, right? He wasn't under these weird religious, give everything away for free every single time. No, Solomon was a businessman. He's going, look, if they want wisdom, they can come. I will gladly help them. And they can exchange their thanks in the form of dollar signs, right? Guys, we've got to learn how to communicate to people en masse and charge them, okay? And number 3, 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 25. This is really fun here, okay? So 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 25. So number 1, okay, consultant to his contemporaries. You got to learn how to be a king or a queen of consulting. Number 2, if you want your business model to grow, you have to become a communicator to crowds, become a king or a queen of communication. But watch this. This is where it gets insane. This is why Solomon was a multi-trillionaire. One of the reasons is because what we're about to read. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 25. Watch this. This is insane. Okay, so remember, all the kings of the earth are coming to him. Okay, all the kings of the earth are coming to him. Verse 25, 1 Kings 10, verse 25, it says this: year after year, everyone came and brought their gifts, articles of silver, gold, robes, weapons, spices, horses, and mules. Wait. Stop right there. Pause right there. Okay. If all the kings of the earth are coming to consult with Solomon, let's just say there were, 100 nations on the planet at that time. I don't know what the number would be, but let's just use a round number. Maybe there was 100 nations on the planet at that time. And all the kings of the earth are coming to consult with Solomon, and Solomon's charging all of them $200 million each, but not once. It wasn't like, yo, pay me once, man, and we're good forever. No, it was like, pay me now, and then next year when you come, pay me again, and I'll give you more wisdom. And then the next year when you come, pay me again, and I'll give you more. Like, Solomon literally had this thing on lock, baby. Not just the kings of the earth, but it says all the people of the earth. So maybe it says year after year. So again, you know, this en masse communication, these big training events. Oops, I just dropped my little thing here. Here it is. Okay, maybe this big training thing, I'm back. Maybe this big training thing, maybe it was every year and it was like everyone in the world, come back, pay your fee, get wisdom, and then you can go back. But here's the crazy part, okay? So not only, let's come with me back to the board, okay? So not only was King Solomon a consultant to his contemporaries, king of consulting, not only was he a communicator to crowds, okay? But Solomon, he was the man when it came to continuity, cash flow. Continuity cash flow, and I would even say, let's call him the king of continuity. Now you might be sitting here going, okay, I'm newer to business. I don't know what continuity is. That's completely fine. Continuity is money that is paid to you over and over and over again. Think of your Netflix account. Think of your Spotify account. Think of your Amazon Prime account, okay? Think of your insurance. Think of your cell phone bill. You are literally paying in continuity to these different businesses every single month over and over and over and over. Okay, so here's the punchline. If you want your business to grow, if you want to be successful in your business, one of the ways my wife and I went from Section 8 housing to now making tens and tens of millions of dollars is we became consultants to our contemporaries. We learned how to communicate to crowds, but then number 3, we set up continuity cash flow systems. We set up systems where people pay us not just once, but they pay us over and over and over again for the different ways that we can help serve them, for the wisdom that God has given us. The same way God gave wisdom to Solomon and people paid him, God has given me some specific wisdom. He's given you some specific wisdom, and people come and they pay me over and over and over. People also could come to you and pay you over and over and over for your wisdom. This is one of Solomon's success principles, is you've got to learn how to get the continuity cash flow going, man. And I would say this, okay? If you're taking notes, write this down. If you don't have continuity in your business, if you don't have trustable, dependable, we're going to have at least this much come in every single month. If you don't have that in your business, if you don't have continuity, then you don't have a business. Period. If you don't have continuity set up, you don't have a business, okay? Continuity stabilizes your business because now it's something that you can just count on over and over and over again. I have multiple different continuity streams on top of my consultant streams, on top of my communication streams, right? I've got many different continuity streams coming in as well. If I can do it, if Solomon can do it, then you can do it too, okay? So guys, one more time, check this out. If you've made it this far into the training and you're enjoying it and you still haven't checked out my upcoming 5-day live virtual challenge, Create and Sell Digital Products, what is you doing? Check out this testimony right here of one of my current students. He took the information that I'm going to be sharing with you in the upcoming 5-day training to make $15,000 in one single week. Click the link down below, join as a VIP. We'll see you in the challenge. Now, back to the training. King Solomon's business model, not the only one, but one of them. Number 1, you've got to be a consultant to your contemporaries. Number 2, you've got to learn how to communicate to crowds. And number 3, you've got to learn how to get the continuity cash flow going, man. Set up systems like, and you might be sitting here going, well, Rick, what's a way that people would pay me over and over and over? I don't know. One of the best ways to do this is with a digital product called a membership site. Think about this. You could literally record a number of different trainings, right? You can start with, say, I don't know, 20 different trainings, and you put these into a membership site, and you say, guys, you can have access to the membership site. It's only whatever, $100 a month, $50 a month, $20 a month, $10 a month, $500 a month, whatever you choose. Guys, you pay X amount a month, and every single month, you will have access to not only the library that's in here, but whatever, once a month, twice a month, every week. I'm going to be putting new trainings in here so that the more trainings, the longer you're in here, the more trainings you'll have access to. And it's kind of like Netflix. You can literally log in 24/7. Guys, I have membership sites. I have a membership site right now. At its height, I had 16,000 members in that membership site. It's a $97 a month membership site. I don't know about you. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, and math doesn't come, as my strongest suit, but 16,000 times $97 per month, it ain't too shabby. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys, and it's a membership site. I have thousands of trainings in that membership site, and students they get access 24/7 to this gigantic library, kind of like Netflix, and they can go in there and search for the different trainings on that specific niche in that specific business. Guys, I'm telling you, if you are tired of being in scarcity, in lack, if you're tired of struggling, trying to make it, oh man, this 9-to-5 grind, whatever it is, all you got to do to break out of it is start tapping into some of these success secrets that King Solomon instituted. Guys, it's all right here in the Bible. It's literally all right here in the Bible, man. Start tapping into Solomon's success secrets. Start taking action on them. Do yourself a favor and make sure to click that link down below and join me for my upcoming 5-day live virtual event. I'm literally if you're like, how do I do this? This is a perfect training for you. If you're like, I don't know where to start, it sounds cool, but what do I do? Click that link, join me as a VIP. I'm literally gonna show you every single thing you need to know on how to get started with digital marketing, with digital products. So the same way that my wife and I went from living in Section 8 to now making tens and tens of millions of dollars, I'm gonna give you the exact blueprint step by step. Click that link, join me as a VIP. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel right now if you want to continue to see more content like this from me. Thanks for plugging in. Make sure to go watch this next video here, guys, and we'll see you in the next training. Thanks.